Good morning, this is Daniel, Peace and Plenty Farms, June the 1st, 2020. Going to be working around here on some odds and ends today. I thought I would show you this incubator box that I built for the back porch this year. We really enjoyed it, and I'll just give you a quick rundown on this. Built this out of a sliding glass door panel. Took a sliding glass door panel and I separated the glass into two pieces. So I had one piece of glass for on the top and one piece of glass to use for the front, and it's all pressure treated plywood, stained it so it looked nice on the back porch, and just used aluminum, and you can see the silicone in there to seal it up so the rainwater stays out. We really enjoyed it. We can sit on the back deck here and watch the chicks in it. We incubated the chicks in here, one of those styrofoam incubators. We put the styrofoam incubators on this shelf right here, and then we can germinate little seedlings up here on this shelf. And from inside the house, we can look out through the back porch door and see what the temperature is, monitor the temperature right there. And we have a small temperature monitor in there that we use beside the bed at night, where I can keep an eye on the temperature in there. Those are really great. I can keep an eye on the temperature in the greenhouse. I can keep an eye on the temperature in here at night. Of course, we had the little electric heater right there. It worked great. And then this year I used a 200 watt heat lamp bulb right there to keep the ambient temperature of the incubator area consistent. We use a wood stove, and sometimes we'll warm the place up really nice, and then it'll cool down while we're not home. And so our ambient temperature inside the house isn't really ideal for the styrofoam chick incubator. So this creates a real nice ambient temperature, and we get the passive solar heat through the top of it with the sun shining in on it. I've got it on wheels so we can roll it around. It just pushes around the porch here. I'm getting ready to put it away for the summer. We really don't need it right now. It's got power coming in right there, a little 3-way. I've got a 6-way across the top so I can plug in all the different items. Let me bring you around here and show you this side of it. So over here it's got a set of display case sliding doors that I put on it, and when it gets warm we take the doors off, and it's got this net to keep the chicks in there. We just let the chicks, once they hatch, we put the wood chips in the bottom, and the chicks just run around down here on the bottom, and we enjoy watching them, and gives a good safe place for them to mature in right there, and they stay plenty warm with the heat lamp and the passive solar. Well, this was just a little project I built this year, and thought I'd show it to you. Let's see what else we got going on the farm today. Okay, so we're going to get going this morning. Hope you enjoyed the first video about the incubator that we had. So now I'm going to get busy on some of the projects that we have today. This is my rabbit. We call this the row house here. It's, I think there's about 12 cages, 50 feet of cages here. They're dog cages that we got, and I built them so that the lid opens up, and you can see this one here is open, and I just have a little latch right there to hold it. And the reason I do that is so I can just pull these trays out and dump them out and stick them back in there. Well, the first project for today is to replace these two trays. This one here has rotted out. The 1/2 inch by 1 inch mesh welded wire is just too small for these rabbits. They'll pile up their manure, and once they have a place to pile their manure, any little edge will start a pile for them. But that's why we hang the cages typically. I didn't have a building to hang the cages in, so I just, what I did is I used a 4x4 post, and I turned it on edge so the pointed edge is up. That way the manure will just fall off right here and fall off on the inside. So there's no real place for the manure to pile up in there. I took the extra doors that were in the dog cages out, and I used them for other cage projects that I had going. There was actually 3 doors. There was one here, there was one in the side, and one in the front. So we're only using just the one door, and we were able to pull 2 extra doors out of each cage and use them for other projects. Of course, we've got the birthing boxes in there. They have the plywood in them for winter time to keep them warm, and I have heating pads that I put in there. If you're going to buy a heating pad, be sure and buy the one that doesn't have the timers on them. One day we're going to get a Amazon page going, and I'll have a link for those products. You want the one that doesn't shut off. Most heating pads shut off after about 10 or 15 minutes. But we have heating pads, and of course we've got the electrical up here for the heating pads, and that's for the winter time. And then the summertime we use the electric for the mosquito traps. Haven't got those up yet this year. But regular J feeder, of course I've done videos before on the rain gutter that I use. They love this. They can lay right against it and stay cool in the summertime. Of course, we've got this built under these trees here, so they stay nice and cool. We're in a 7+ zone in Northern Virginia, near Northern Virginia. Of course, there's a gutter on the back here with a screen shield for the leaves, runs all the way down, and this actually drains on the other end back into this gutter, so it'll overflow and wash it out a little bit. And I have fish in here, sometimes catfish, sometimes tilapia. You know, they get started here. It's a safe place for them to get started and grow, and then I can take them out of here and put them in the pond so that they get to a size where the crawdads won't eat them. So on with what we're doing today. We like I said, we're going to start out this morning getting these 2 cage bottoms fixed. Typically what I use, here's another half by 1. It's going to have to be replaced someday, but she's really a clean rabbit. She's pretty clean. She doesn't pile up her manure. So that bottom has been lasting pretty good. Here's another half by 1. It's doing okay. We'll replace it later. She's making a nest. Yeah, so she's in there pulling her hair out to make a little nest there. And I don't have this one updated correctly, so I'll show you another one. I've got this piece of wood. We put the straw in there for them, and then I stick this piece of wood in here to keep the kits from climbing out, little baby rabbits from climbing out, so that works. You can see how there's her bowl right there. Sometimes they get treats in that bowl. Well, she's using it as a potty. They will house train. You know, you can have a rabbit in a house. They will use a litter, and that's what she's doing. She's got one spot for her litter, so unfortunately it's up here instead of down here where it'll fall through. This one's coming along fine. These females here. This one here is actually a female and a male. He's back there. You can kind of tell by the size of their head when they get older. The head is a little bit different in size. Female, male. That's without having to pick them up. So come on down here. We got another one making a nest. She was the male was put in there on the 27th, so she's really getting ready any day now. The male's in here. He needs to be separated. That's why I'm building these cages today. He is definitely ready to be separated from her. Here's another one making a nest. I think she may have had her. She had one. That wasn't very good. We usually try to get 8 or 9 out of them, but these are older rabbits. I've had these for about 2 years. These breeders, they're proven females, so I hung on to them. It's hard to get a good proven female that's got it figured out. But what I wanted to show you here on this cage, what I do is I put the date that the male was put in with the female. So that was 3/5, and I have 2 males, A and B. and then I just add the 28 days plus another 2 days, you know, because he's in there for 3 days. So I say 30 days altogether. 2 days for him, 28 days for gestation for the rabbit, for her. And then 6 weeks after that, we take her out and leave them in for another 2 weeks. Their digestive system likes familiar surroundings, and so we found taking her out and leaving them in. So we calculate that date out and put it on here so we know when to take her out. And then we know 2 weeks after that, we can take them out. And this will be female B. The males we process, but the females will be B. And so then male A will go with female B on the net when she gets old enough to see if she's a successful breeder. I hope all that makes sense. But 2 or 3 days with him in there, 28 days gestation, and then 6 weeks we separate her out, and then 2 weeks we take them out, and we have another set of pens we put them in if they're going to be processed. And then we have the condos, we call it. It's over here, the condos that we put the females in. This side is B, so all your female B will be here, and the other side will be female A's. And that way, that's real critical with the male female. You can't just, like chickens, let the rooster, like you can with chickens, it doesn't really matter, but you need to kind of change out your male regularly on rabbits. So that is that. I'll come back down here. One of the things I wanted to tell you is one of the things I do to try to be, that I found works real good for me, is I make a list of what's going on the farm. And it can be just a list of things that need to get done. You know, I've got a punch list on the farm that needs to be done. I've got some welding. I got the Ranger dually, all these things that need to be done on the farm. And I try to keep track and organize it. That way I can combine jobs. You know, if I'm working on welded wire like I am today with these bottoms, I try to have all of the projects for the welded wire. This is my welded wire station right here. It needs to be cleaned up a little bit. The wire's laying everywhere from the last project, but I keep all of the various pieces of fencing and wire right here. I pulled out 2 pieces of 1x1 right here where I'm going to make my bottoms for the rabbit cage. But I wanted to say, you know, it really helps to be organized, to try to not be a put out fire person around the farm, but try to be preemptive and be organized and have goals. You know, there's some of these. This is a punch list to make sure when I'm actually working on the dually truck, the K30, that I can actually get everything done. I don't miss something. I've got it written down. I've got fall projects written down, ready to go. This is my punch list for today, things I need to do. I've started numbering them in priority. Of course, the rabbit cage is going to be number 1 for today. The possums are getting into the gate on the reds. I need to get that done. Strawberries, the weeds need to be pulled. A lot of things planned for today. I'm going to show you one other project I've got going on. It's on my list for today, is this water shed over here. This thing has been laying on the ground, I bet you 2 years. That's water shed box right here. It's a plastic cabinet that you get from Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever. But I'm going to assemble that today, and I'm going to get it standing up right here and get it mounted. And I'm actually going to dig this up, this water hydrant. I'm actually going to dig it up and move it into the water closet and hook it up. And I've got a instant hot water tank, propane, that I'm going to put inside of here. So in the wintertime, I can have hot water down here. Sometimes this or that freezes up or there's problems, and it'd be nice to have hot water to wash your hands or thaw things out and to keep the hydrant going. So that's going to be the shed's going to get built today. That'll get the box out of laying right there. And then on my list is what I call my day projects. One whole day digging this up and moving it and getting it inside the shed and getting the propane tank up and running. That may be on my fall list. But here's the gutters for the what we call the condos, and we just fill them up right here. I can just grab this and pull it out, dump it, wash it, and slide it right back in there. Got these from a good friend of mine, Ken Grubbs. So we've got a couple of them. This one goes over here. We're not using it right now. I have not built the ones for up here. Ken's got some more gutters for me. I'm gonna go get those, and they're gonna be installed right there. Well, let's get busy, and I'll give you an updated video later on today on how we're doing. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. Please comment, let me know. I'm not an expert. I appreciate any guidance or help that y'all want to give, and have a good day. Okay, well, it's lunchtime, so I got the cage bottoms in this first one and this second one, the 1x1 cage bottoms. I got everybody some straw, and everybody's got their J feeders full in the water. Boy, it took a long time. It's lunchtime. I've been working on this all morning, but everybody's cleaned out. Everybody's got the date set on their J feeder when they were bred, and so that'll tell you when. Oh, she just loaded a well, you can barely see it, but she's got a mouthful of straw there. She's making a nest, so she's getting ready. She was bred on 510 with male A. The two males that I have are kind of old, and so I'm keeping real close track of which ones. Right now, today I bred male A here, and I think maybe he's really old. His hind section, you know, their vertebrae are very tender. He may be having trouble with his vertebrae in his lower back. So now that he hasn't been used as a breeder for 2 years, and then this is male B, and he seems to be doing all right. So I'd like to harvest some good males and females out of these guys and separate them, and then that way I can interchange the males here. We can switch the males and the females A and B, so that we can cross up the bloodline a little bit. So let's walk back down here and see all that we got done. Everything's cleaned out, everybody's fed. Over here on the condos, I've got them separated. These are the male A's that we have separated today, and these are all of the females. We have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the lower section, 1, 2 on the upper section, so 6 altogether of the females A, and it has the date on there when they'll be ready to breed right there. And then these are, like I said, these are the males that will probably process unless the other older males don't make it. The largest one in here is B, and the littler ones are A, so we'll have to see how that goes. And then we've got one small family back here. I don't know if you can see them right there. Oh. And then this is female B right here. I've got that right. Okay, well, we didn't get to the little black Morans are out running around today. I think this is their second or third day out. They're really having a good time, having the run of the place. We're going to get back on the punch list, the odds and ends that need to be done around the farm today. I'm going to run over here and let the reds out. This is our broody hatching little spot right here. Yesterday I put this Silkie, she started brooding, so I gathered up some of the reds eggs and put her in there. 21 days from now, we'll see how she's doing with that. I like this. It's got the ventilation. It's got all the little doors that you need to keep her in there. It's got a little ramp. Sometimes I close this little door until the chicks are big enough that they can get up and down the ramp. Alrighty, it's after lunch, so we better get busy on that punch list. Here they come. A little free range time for the reds. They sure do enjoy it. Wanted to do a quick video on this people gate that was on my punch out list today. The possum was coming in underneath of my little electric fence wire right here. He was coming underneath of that and popping through the chain link fence right there. He was just pushing that other mesh in and scooting under. And I was having a terrible time figuring out where he was coming in at. And so I set up these game cameras and I was able to figure it out and get this hole taken care of. Unfortunately, we lost 2 or 3 chickens before I was able to close in on him. One other time, something was getting the rabbits, and I set those game cameras up, and turned out to be a big old owl. So I had to really tighten up on the fencing around and over the rabbits. We now have a mesh, bird type mesh up over the entire run-in over here, so that when we put the rabbits out here in these what we call the FEMA camps way over there, one of those green gates right there, that keep the owls from coming in and picking up their rabbits. Well, just a quick video in the middle of the day. I'm gonna go get the people gate for the new coop built. We'll do a video on that next. Last project for today, I need to get this piece of plywood off of the chicken coop. We just finished building this calf pen and doing this chain link fence. Just finished this little chicken coop, but I haven't done a people door yet. So I've got this little gate kit right here, and seems like this will be pretty good. So let's get these, I pre-painted the 2x4s right here, and we'll get these cut, and I've got some wire to go on the back side of it. We'll staple that on. Let's put it together and we'll do a quick video at the end. Okay, last job for today. I got the door on the chicken coop. Turned out pretty nice. The hinge kit, it's all right. The trick is to do the side pieces first and then install the bottom pieces. But that'll swing good. It did not come with any kind of a latch or anything, so for tonight I'm just gonna lean this 2x4 up here. I'll hold it, and tomorrow I'll go by and get maybe a latch for the bottom and a latch for right there. Well, appreciate y'all watching. Thank you.